Pleasant good day, Khadija. How are you today?
Fine, thanks, Antonio. How are you?
I am great. Well, today I would like to hear your story with empowering women across borders. So I am giving you this platform so that you can share your story. So let's jump into it because we know that our audience they want to hear great content.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much. I believe in empowering women that would build their confidence and help them to achieve fearlessly and go after their dreams. This pandemic has pushed us into so many different realms of thinking and a different mindset. And I am hopeful that what I'm about to share with you will be a catalyst to transform your world as I tell you about my growth journey. 5 years ago, I I could not believe that I was in that same place again, another emotionally wrecking relationship, right? Stuck. And we've all been there, right? How can I do better than this? I had put my life, my growth on hold for love that didn't really work out.
Hmm.
And it stopped me in my tracks, Antonio, because I lost sight of who I could become. I let my business suffer, right? And I lost so much self confidence. Whoa, you wouldn't believe. I no longer believed in myself and what I could achieve. So I stopped working on myself, and that led to depression and being scared of even considering finding that love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought to myself, well, maybe my destiny was just to work hard, long hours, late night scrubbing floors because I own a janitorial business.
Hmm.
And taking care of my three kids, kept me sane. But my doubts and despair rule my thoughts in every other area of my life. You know what helped me? Best My best friend became reading, and the very first book that I picked up was The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. Just the name said it. It was the right one for me to start with. I wanted to change the direction of my life. And that very first law in that book, the law of intentionality, immediately guided me away from my doubts and fears.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, this law of intentionality says that growth doesn't just happen. I had to make that happen. I knew where I was and where I needed to be. And there was a huge gap between the two. I had to escape from the growth gap trap, figuring out how to bridge it because I knew that I was better than this. Yeah.
Hmm.
One of my favorite quotes is from James Allen. Women are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves, and therefore they remain bound. So, bridging that gap for me meant asking myself three important questions. And you can ask yourself these same questions. Where do I want to go in life? Where am I now? And what do I have to do to get there? I reflected long and hard on those questions, and it set me on a path that I knew I would become all that I needed to be. And you know what, Antonio, I am sharing my story with you and with the entire world today because I would like people out there, women out there, to avoid the same mistakes I made. You see, if you want to go beyond your imagination and receive all, when I mean all that God has in store for you, you have to be intentional. And that chapter in John's book sank so deep in my heart. I went into earnest prayer. And that night, when I finally fell asleep, I dreamt my mom. She was the biggest inspiration to me.
Hmm.
She was
Awesome.
on stage. Yes, yes, yes. She was on stage, right, Antonio, giving one of her speeches because she was the president of a women's club, a popular women's club in Tobago
Hmm.
here. And she called me up on stage, I will never forget those words that she said to me, and they resonated deep within me. In front of everyone, she called me up on that stage and said, Khadija, now is your time to be a tower of power for others. And, that's where my nonprofit organization name came from because of what she said to me in that dream. Her words echoed as I woke up 2 o'clock that morning, and I knew what I had to do. As a woman, as a motivator, I knew what I had to do. She had made a great impact, right, on many entrepreneurs with her class and her style and her hospitality. So I could see as clear as the water in Pigeon Point. And if you've ever come to Tobago, you would know what I mean. Have you ever been to Pigeon Point?
I don't hear that, sorry.
You've ever been to Pigeon Point Beach in
How you
Tobago?
mean?
Oh,
If it is you
great.
go to Bago
You
and you
have
never been to Pigeon Point Beach, something is wrong. Pigeon
exactly.
Point Beach to me is the best beach in Tobago. I always go to Pigeon Point Beach anytime I land in Tobago.
Perfect. Right. So you could only imagine that I could immediately turn what I had just thought of into action, right? And
Hmm.
I could new vision for myself, leading and adding value to others, not just women, but men, young people, plenty people, just as my mom did. But you know what I had to face? I had to face that fear factor, Antonio. And most of
Most
us have.
people are fearful for many things. We are fearful for
Yes,
fear of rejection. We are fearful to even come,
it's real.
before a camera and have a conversation. But
I was
the
once
whole
there.
thing, yeah, the whole thing about it is that I will always tell anybody public speaking is basically speaking about a topic from the heart. Once
Yeah,
it is you are passionate about something and you have to go on a forum or go before a camera and speak and you are
yeah,
passionate about that, I don't think you can be nervous because that passion will
yeah.
basically come out of you
It
and you will
overrides
speak
it.
fluently without any issues. So
Yeah.
always be passionate about something and speak about that. So in that way now you will tend to limit that fear and overcome it eventually.
Yes, yes. The passion is greater than that fear.
Correct.
You know what
Definitely.
I feared too, Antonio? I feared what others would say. And I feared
Definitely.
failing. I feared failing, especially at relationships. So, we
Hmm.
all have fears, but you know what is amazing, Antonio, is that we also possess faith. And I took that leap of faith, and started to move step by step by step. And, that is how my NGO, my nonprofit, was formed. So, how
Right.
did I bridge that growth gap? It was by being intentional. I had to make up my mind and started to do what needed to be done.
So
You know,
how many business do you have, Khadija? You said that you have a janitorial business.
yes,
Speaking about an NGO business. So,
yes.
tell women that how you was able to have all these business and overcome and, break those barriers that women are facing in today's society.
Well, for me, the thing is faith. I had to have faith because my parents were great entrepreneurs on this island, and I emulate them. Basically, that is what it is. They were my motivation, and that is just they instill that skill into me, and
Hmm.
I now have the opportunity to develop it. It was hard. I almost went bankrupt in my first 2 years of my janitorial business and just wanted to give up. But you know what they say, Antonio? Faith without works is
Correct.
dead.
And I think people miss that word works because people
Yeah.
will say, don't worry, things will
Mm,
happen for you. But if you are not doing anything,
that's
how it
it.
is that you want that faith to work?
Hmm.
So when you're having faith, you have to go there. The best advice I could give to anybody is continue to fail. When I say continue to fail, is that as the day go by and the more you fail is the closer to success you will be.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a psychological outlook that if it is you input that into your system and go out there fearless, you will
Mm-hmm.
be successful in your
You
journey.
will. Yes.
Definitely.
And you know what I think, Antonio? You see, as I continued reading that book from John Maxwell, the second law is the law of awareness. And to tie in what you just said, right? That law knocked me off my feet because
Mhm.
that law says you must know yourself to grow yourself. And
So
James,
true.
yeah, yeah. James
And
Russell,
I would just interject for 1 minute. When you say know yourself to grow yourself, it's so fascinating because some people don't understand how to refrain from things. For example, let's say you're addicted to video games, but
mhm,
on your phone you have 5 or 6 video games. What would you do? You would delete these video games. So when it is you pick up your phone and let's say on WhatsApp or LinkedIn or whatever it is, you would not be enticed to go and play games. So in
right,
order to abstain from things, you have to put a stop to it. Where if you see that, all right, if I go in the fridge and I know that it have chocolate there, I would pick up the chocolate and eat it. So take the
right.
chocolate and maybe give the neighbor it, or if you want, give the dog it, but don't throw it in the
So you
dustbin
can't give
because
dog
you don't
chocolate.
want to. Just saying, you're enough. That's saying, right?
Yeah,
And the whole idea is to when it is you want to try to overcome something, you
yeah,
have to take it away in front of your face
yeah.
because we so easy to go back to our old ways, and
True.
that where the conscious and subconscious mind
Mm-hmm,
comes in. So
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to go into too much in that because that will be a
Well,
lengthy conversation. It's
w-
all about
yes.
you sharing your story, so you continue with
I
empowering women on this
Sure, no
platform.
problem. I just want to expand on what you just said because James Russell has an awesome quote that says, "No one can produce great things who is not
Love
thoroughly
it.
sincere
Mhm.
in dealing with himself." And when you start to look within your heart and your mind, you get to know where you were, right? And
Mhm.
your faith kind of pushes you into action because I
Hmm.
mean, we just said faith without works. So that works is the action that your faith
Mhm.
pushes you through. But to really overcome, you have to find your true purpose and what all of this is. And you know what? I thought to myself, I can't do this on my own. Yeah. So I sought out persons close to me who had already been where I was and where I wanted to be, who had already
Hmm.
been where I wanted to be, right?
Yes.
So, and coming from a background of entrepreneurial skill sets, I knew what my strengths were already, right? Like business planning and accountability and encouraging others, to name a few,
So, who
right?
in your family was
Mhm.
into entrepreneurship that you was able to come into entrepreneurship?
Right. My mom and dad, they were
Okay.
awesome entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was basically born in a grocery,
All
on
right.
the cash
Mhm.
register. So it was just natural that I went into business because that's all I knew since I was born. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the struggle was real. You had to mature and you had to do a lot of writing and you have to interact with people and practice that skill daily in order to know how to deal with people because you meet people from all different walks of life.
Hmm.
And when you have people around you that are where you want to be, then it helps you develop those skills a real great bit, you know.
Yeah,
And
definitely. And that
yes,
is the idea. You
mm-hmm,
want to basically take away the good and the bad because it helps some people. You may want to be in their position, but
mm-hmm,
they will have good and they have bad. So you take the good, which is positive, and the bad,
mm-hmm,
you take away that. So in that way now, you could even be as great as that person, not even better.
Yeah.
So that is the idea that you want to take in consideration, because
Yes.
you can't be emulating someone and taking the good and bad ways.
That is true. And I think that once you become aware of your potential, then there's nothing that could stop you, right?
No
That's what
one
I
have to tell you that you are great. You have
hmm
to know within yourself, have
that
that
you
belief in yourself that you are great. At
yeah,
the end of the day, you want to think globally. You don't want to
yeah,
think locally,
yeah,
because the sky is the limit. If you think locally,
exactly.
you might be a growth in your environment. But if you think globally, you could be a growth regionally. So
Yeah.
think globally, think
You don't
big.
want to limit
Don't think
yourself.
small. No,
And
at
and
all.
you know and you know what I've learned, Antonio, is that there's no finish line.
No.
Yeah. You see,
Harlan Sanders, he
uh, yeah,
basically showed us that at
mhm.
66 years, he was able
You
to
see,
get his deal where he could be a conglomerate of company, not a conglomerate, but have a lot of branches all over, the
right.
state of different states in America. And at that age, he was then successful, not at his early stages in life. And he failed basically 1,000 and something times. He went to many different
Jesus.
companies, many different places to let them know that he would like to, you know, bring his chicken there. And what he
Mhm.
did, what was very thought provoking, is that he used to go by different places and just stay there for the day and offer free meals. So in that way, now he promoted his business,
Mm,
and who want to buy, they could buy. And
yeah.
that was one of his strategies going
He
forward. But
created
at 66
history. Yeah.
years, yeah,
Created
he
history
never
right
had
there.
a
Hmm.
limit. He just continued going.
Correct. Yes, yes, yes.
So, despite that you may not be successful at age 30, despite you may not be successful at age 40, you could be successful at age 50 or even 60.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're so right. And Antonio, there are two great days in a person's life. Let me tell you.
Hmm.
The day you were born, that's one of them, and the day you discover why. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's powerful right there. That's powerful to hold on to.
Hmm.
Yeah,
My
those
great friend
two.
here,
Mm-hmm.
Stuart Huckett, he
Yeah.
said, with the digital age, you need to act globally and embrace technology, that for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
I agree with you,
Technology
Stuart.
is our tools in order for
That's
us to
it.
leverage so that
Mm-hmm.
we could become the best within our field. So
Yes,
it's
yes,
just like a mechanic. If a mechanic now he want to screw up a nut and he have a spanner and he don't have that strength, and let's say one nut is not screwed tightly compared to the other nuts, and you driving down the road and you realize that a tire is shaking, you will think that the mechanic did not have a good job. So if we have an automatic gun now, so when he screw up your screws
yes.
automatically,
It's
it
there.
tightened. So you
Yes,
know that
yes.
you are stable when it is you are driving down the
Mm-hmm.
road. So tools make your job much easier, and you
Yeah,
be more efficient and effective at whatever it is that you are doing.
yeah. I agree. You have to have the tools, and reading good books. That's a tool, Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah, so as we talk about good books,
Mm-hmm.
reading is great for the brain because we exercise physically by going to the gym. But people
Yeah.
forget that the brain
Mind.
have muscles. So you have
Yes.
to exercise the
Stretch
brain
it.
muscle
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
daily reading. And it should not be like a task. It should be something that mandatory to do every day. Whether it be 20 or 30 minutes daily reading, Monday to Sunday, that is something that we should implement. And
Right.
I would just like to give the audience, what are some great books that you could give to the audience, like women and even the millennials, because they are the future for the new generation. So, what are some books that you could recommend to the two sectors, women and also
Okay.
millennials?
Well, I have a book on Amazon right now. It's called Woman of Worth, The Overcomer. It's a 7-day devotional. And I encourage you guys to go out there and buy it because it's one way that can help you overcome your challenges in life as a woman. So, another book I can recommend is John Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. That's a wonderful book for persons that want to grow, who want to be empowered, and not just stay where they are, but challenge themselves to move forward. Yeah.
Awesome. And well, sales is my profession. I call it marketing because sales and
Yeah.
marketing combined together. That is the new way of a modern day seller. So, a great book for sales professionals out there is The Psychology of Selling by Brian
Mhm.
Tracy. At the end of the day, in sales or in anything that you do, once you practice and master the
That's it.
fundamentals, you will be great at anything. And
Yes.
in that book, it have all the fundamentals of sales. So I
Mhm.
suggest read that book once and then read it again because the information once you may not register, but the second time you'll be like, whoa, this
Yeah.
one book is so awesome. And this book
It,
wrote a very long time ago, but at the end of the day, it's the fundamentals that we
right.
need because yes, we have the tools in order for us to leverage in terms of technology for sales, but if you don't have the fundamentals, how could you utilize the tools effectively?
Yes, yes, I agree with you. It's just like the Bible. Eh? Sometimes you would read something in the Bible and at a younger age, and when you get older and you come across that same chapter or
Hmm.
you say,
A
"Wow,
different
I didn't think."
understanding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But the word is living, so we know it will change.
so true. Agreed.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, with your story, what you
Mhm.
have again to add to it?
Well, in closing, I can always say that I want to encourage women, you out there today, starting today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Let's start today to seek out what you were put on this earth for, right? And then pursue it with all your heart. Get to know who you are and never stop growing, right? Never stop trying to become better every day because your only competition is who you were yesterday, right?
Hmm,
And that's what I will leave you guys with today.
awesome. That was great. And
Thank
what I
you.
will tell everyone that your mind is the most powerful thing. We know
Correct.
we keep on hearing that, but if it
Mm-hmm.
is that we could think good thoughts
Mm-hmm.
each and every day and take away the negativity out of our minds and always think positive, so many things will be positive around us. They say what it is that you sow, you will reap is so true. So
Mm-hmm.
if it is that you sow from within positive thoughts, it will basically reap
True.
positive well beings of different things that you want to be. So you could be, you have to think positive in terms of your physical, in terms of your mental, in terms of family life, relationship, career goals. Think positive all around. Let positivity surround you. When you go and if someone bring that negative energy towards you, transfer that negative energy with positive energy and they know will be like, but why is this person so positive? And they wouldn't understand it. But as time go by and as you grow, you know, as an individual and in your career, in your family life, in everything, they will realize that why it is that you are successful because you was always
True.
sowing positivity and you
Positivity.
reap those
Yes.
benefits
Yes.
in the long
Yeah.
run. And that is
I
something
agree.
that you will always have within you. And that is
Mm-hmm.
advantage that not everybody could possess.
Yeah.
Because some people, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing is an obscene language. First thing is maybe to
Yeah.
pick up a cigarette. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know just to be cool, calm, and have a positive day. And
Right.
it's something that I think practice make perfect, and not
True.
everyone could do that within a day or two. It takes time. Everything in life takes time, and that is
Yeah.
my message
To
I would like
process.
to give to you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And on my final note, I would say that growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will get better. You know? Yeah. I will
Definitely.
leave you guys with that today.
Love this session, Khadija.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you
You're
very much,
welcome.
Mixed family, for sharing time with me today. It's been a pleasure.